Alright guys, welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well and hanging in there right now for Bitcoin, because yes, Bitcoin right now is having a slight correction back down to the downside. But you guys need to understand, no matter what happens with Bitcoin short term, okay, even long term, it's always going to continue to go much higher, as we all know. Okay, so understand guys, as I've been telling guys many times, I do believe Q3 is going to be a very bumpy road for Bitcoin. We're going to see a lot of ups and downs. And the reason why I say that is because you guys need to understand, usually August and especially September, right? And these months are coming up, as we all know, right? Next month it's going to be August. Then right after that, it's going to be September and Q3. So you guys need to understand August, especially September, are some pretty bearish months for Bitcoin. Usually Bitcoin doesn't perform that great during these months, right? Of August and September. So that's why I truly do believe Q3, we're going to see a lot of ups and downs. Okay, I mean, so far, the beginning of Q3 for this month in July, it's been amazing. Of course, you know, we have, in fact, been seeing Bitcoin reaching record highs. Okay, just 2 days ago, we saw Bitcoin reaching a new all-time high of $123,000. Okay, and today, right, Bitcoin has been dropping. Okay, as we all know, yesterday it was dropping as well, right? Even today, guys, okay, Bitcoin is slightly, you know, still holding at 117, 118. But yeah, we know, guys, okay, especially yesterday, we did see Bitcoin, you know, dropping back down to the downside. Okay, so yes, 2 days ago, we saw Bitcoin reaching a high of $123,000. And right now, Bitcoin's currently at $117,000, holding up pretty well, okay, at this level. Okay, went as low as 115 at one point, right? So Bitcoin is going back up a little bit, but right now it is still holding up pretty well at 117. Okay, so corrections are normal, guys. Okay, please understand that. I mean, for the past few days, like this week alone has been crazy for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has just been going up like crazy. You know, not even a week ago, guys, we saw Bitcoin at like $111,000, and then it went to 112, and then 113, and then 116, and then 118, 119, 120. Okay, and it didn't stop there. It went to $121,000. Okay, and then even 122, and then eventually $123,000, guys. So Bitcoin, as we all know, has in fact been going up quite a bit. Okay, same with altcoins, right? Altcoins have been looking pretty good, and today, man, alts are looking amazing, right? Especially Ethereum. You know, right now, Ethereum is actually outperforming Bitcoin. Okay, you know, which is great to see. You know, we did see Ethereum finally going back up to, you know, above $3,000, and right now it's kind of at $3,100. Okay, and today it's up 5%, whereas Bitcoin is not even moving, right? You know, today for the past 24 hours, you know, Ethereum's up 5%. Look at this, for the past 7 days, you know, Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is up, you know, over 7%, almost 8%, whereas Ethereum is up almost 20%, pretty much 20%, right? So, man, Ethereum is truly outperforming Bitcoin right now, right? It really is. Maybe this is a strong sign for alt season starting, because I told you guys, you know, alt season will eventually be starting very soon. And I told you guys, we have to see the Bitcoin dominance dropping. And look at this, guys. Okay, the Bitcoin dominance, we're currently at the 4-hour time frame, and it is dropping. Okay, the Bitcoin dominance right now, it's just below 64%. I remember looking at this like just last week, and it was like above 65% at one point. Right now, it's below 64%, 63.8% right now. So the Bitcoin dominance is slowly going down, right? You have to clearly see. I told you guys many times, we have to see a major drop happening with the Bitcoin dominance for alt season to pretty much start, guys. Okay, because in the past, you have to clearly see every single time we see the Bitcoin dominance having a major drop, that is when alt season does start. So this was in 2017 and this was in 2021. And when we did see the Bitcoin dominance dropping, that is when alt season pretty much began, right? So we have to see a major drop happening, right, for the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, and so far, right, looking at this, it is showing some weakness. Okay, it really is. And this is a good sign for alt season, guys, right? It really is. So, you know, it's amazing to see, you know, Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin finally. Okay, usually sometimes this does happen. You know, other alts today are going up as well. So we're slightly going back up. Chainlink is still continuing to go up. Same with AVAX, right? Litecoin, Toncoin, you name it. A lot of alts are going up, guys. Okay, even look at Casper, it's up almost 5%. So yeah, alts, are looking pretty good today. Okay. So that is amazing to see. Now the Bitcoin monthly returns, we are up still almost 10%, right? We're still in the greens. Okay, so Q3, like I told you guys, it's going to be a bumpy road, but no matter what happens, right? Even if we do see Bitcoin going down, let's just say it goes back down to 115, 110, okay, 105, okay, this can happen, right? You guys need to understand that. Even if that does happen, Bitcoin's going to have, recover. It's going to have a recovery and it's going to continue to go high, okay? So you guys need to understand, I truly do believe, personally, Q3 is going to be a bumpy road. You guys let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Q3, we're going to see a lot of ups and downs? Personally, I think so, because like I said, August and September, especially September, man, it's going to be some bearish times for Bitcoin. I don't think this time is going to be any different, right? I'm expecting to see some correction in the month of August and September, guys, for Bitcoin. Okay, I really, really am. Okay, and I don't mind if Bitcoin drops more, because I can just buy more, accumulate more Satoshis at lower prices, right? I'm going to continue to stack stats, guys, right? This is the best time to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. But you guys need to understand, Q4, October, November, and December, that's when things will change. That's when Bitcoin will reach price targets of 150 to 180 to even $200,000. I'm expecting Q4 to be amazing, right? But yeah, Q3 for Ethereum, it's up over 23%, 23.6%. So looking pretty good for Ethereum as well, right? Much, much better than Bitcoin so far. But yeah, I do believe there's going to be a bumpy road for Bitcoin. So be ready for that, guys. Okay, be ready for that. That's just my personal opinion, right? So understand, guys, since Ethereum right now is outperforming Bitcoin today, right? So we are facing this V-shaped recovery, like what Bitcoin did. Seems like Ethereum's going to follow. So Ethereum following the path of Bitcoin from the last cycle. Okay, Ethereum reaccumulation phase is behind us. The V-shaped recovery is unfolding as expected. So what Bitcoin did with this V-shaped recovery, okay, it seems like Ethereum is following, okay, and it's going to do a very, very similar move, right? And it's going to, lead Ethereum back up to its previous highs, even reaching a new all-time high. I truly do believe Ethereum soon enough will for sure be reaching new highs. I do believe that is very, very possible, so yeah, it's looking pretty good right now for Ethereum. The V-shaped recovery is happening. And yeah, we'll finally see, right, the biggest altcoin out there in the market finally reaching back up to its previous highs, even reaching a new high. I do believe that is coming, right? Now, let's get into Bitcoin. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin, right? Get into these charts. So Bitcoin neckline retest before another leg up. Yes, right now we are facing a retest. I told you guys, even a couple of days ago when Bitcoin was reaching new highs, right? 118, 119, 120, 122, 123, right? You name it. When Bitcoin was skyrocketing, I told you guys, it's not going to go up forever. We're going to see some corrections. And that's exactly what we are facing right now for Bitcoin. Okay, we are facing some corrections happening right now for Bitcoin. Okay, so understand, even though we are facing a retest right now, it's going to recover. It's going to bounce back up to 123, its previous highs, and then it's going to continue to go up to 130, right? 140, 145, 150, you name it, and they're on. Okay, so be prepared for that, guys, because it is coming. Okay, Bitcoin is going to continue to go much, much higher, no matter what happens short term. Like I said, right, we're going to see a lot of ups and downs, like I said, in Q3, right, which is where we are right now because of August and September. Usually some pretty bearish times for Bitcoin. Like I said, Bitcoin doesn't perform that great during these time periods in August and September. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to have a lot of ups and downs, okay, in the next upcoming few months. But no matter what happens, it's going to continue to rise. No matter what happens, okay, the Bitcoin top is not in yet. Okay, please understand that, right? How do I know that? Well, I've been talking about this, right? The global money supply has in fact been going up, as we all know. Okay, and understand, right? Bitcoin usually does follow this, okay, does follow the global money supply, okay, a bit later. So the global money supply has been going up, as we all know, and soon enough, Bitcoin will follow it, okay, and it is, right? As we saw a couple of days ago, Bitcoin has been absolutely skyrocketing, and that is just the beginning. It's going to go much, much higher. So understand, right? Bitcoin will follow, and you guys can clearly see the price targets: 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so understand Bitcoin will be reaching these price targets easily. These are easy price targets, right? 160, 180 to even $200,000 is very, very possible, as I've been telling guys many, many times. So this is amazing to see. Okay, and this just shows us this is a big signal, right, that Bitcoin will follow the global money supply and continue to go much, much higher. Okay, because that's just usually what happens. Okay, so this is very, very bullish, right? So understand no matter what happens, Bitcoin's going to go higher. Okay, the top is not in yet. Okay, so you have to clearly see this is a pre-bull, right? Consolidation, and then we're going to see expansion. So really, this is just the beginning. We haven't even started anything yet, guys, right? And I know it's been very, very exciting, right, for the past, few days, few weeks, few months for Bitcoin. But you guys need to understand this is truly just the beginning. The top is not in yet. We're going to see Bitcoin reaching 180 to $200,000 to 220 to 250 to maybe even $300,000. There's a fair predictions out there. People are predicting Bitcoin's going to be going to 400k, 500k, even people are predicting 700k, right? And I don't personally, guys, I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin, and personally, I don't think Bitcoin will be reaching like 500k to 700k. I think it's going to be reaching at least like 200k to 300k. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. In the next bull market, yes, we will easily see Bitcoin, reaching 700k to even $1 million. I think that's very, very possible, right? But looking at this chart, this is truly just the beginning, guys. Truly. Okay, we haven't even seen anything yet. So be ready because big moves are coming for Bitcoin. Okay, no matter what happens. Okay, like I said, short term. Okay, long term, Bitcoin will always recover. Okay, and just go up because we know Bitcoin is really, really volatile short term, but it's always going to be shooting up. And I've showed you guys this chart before, but I want to show you guys it again, okay? Because you guys need to understand, ever since Bitcoin has existed, we know it's been going up and down a whole bunch. But if you guys really just zoom out and look at this, okay, look at, the bigger picture, you guys would realize Bitcoin has been in a bull market for 15 years. Okay, and the reason why we say it's been in a bull market for 15 years, it has not been in a bear market, is because long term, it is always going up. Yes, short term, okay, we enter right these times where Bitcoin does drop quite a bit, but it always recovers every single time. Okay, it's a 4-year cycle, as we all know, bull cycle, and then a bear cycle, right? Right now, we're obviously in a bull cycle, but understand, guys, we have seen Bitcoin dropping quite a bit. Like, for example, in 2022, that was bad, right? That was really bad. That's when Bitcoin was dropping quite a bit, and it dropped all the way as low as like below 16k. Okay, it was like at 15 point something $1,000, right? Even back in 2018, right? 2018 Bitcoin dropped quite a bit as well. So you guys need to understand, even though we do see Bitcoin having these time periods where it does drop, it always recovers. Okay, and every single time we do see Bitcoin having a recovery, it always tends to reach new all-time highs. And that's exactly what Bitcoin has been doing for the past few months, during this time right now, in this year of 2025, right? It's been reaching record highs. Okay, no one knew, back in 2022, for example, everyone was saying, Bitcoin is done for, right? It was crashing. Okay, there was a lot of fear for Bitcoin. And if you guys just simply bought Bitcoin back in 2022 when it was below 20k, okay, and you bought some and you simply just held it right now, you would have been in a massive profit, right? Understand that, guys. So you simply just want to buy and hold Bitcoin. This just shows you guys that long-term Bitcoin is always winning. Okay, you guys need to understand that, right? This is why it's very, very important to simply just buy and hold and do nothing. That's simply it. If you, like, honestly, I truly do believe if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to have wealth to your name, right? You want to have some type of freedom. Okay, you want to have not just wealth, but generational wealth. You want to pass it on, right, to your family and whatnot. I truly do believe Bitcoin is the asset to do that. Okay, and this is not financial advice, always doing research, but if you really understand Bitcoin, okay, it will give you freedom and wealth, right? You guys need to understand that long term. So buy Bitcoin, hold it, and do nothing. It's that simple, right? That's all you got to do. Okay, and you guys need to understand the purchasing power of $1 since 1930. Okay, we know inflation, right, is a real thing. Of course, I feel like a lot of people think, not a lot of people, but some people out there think it's not a real thing, which is crazy to me. But you guys need to understand, okay, $1 has in fact been going down. Okay, fiat has been going down, guys, right? The US dollar has been going down ever since, 1930, right? 1930 was, worth a dollar, 1960, 56 cents, 1990, 13 cents, and now in 2025, it's worth 5 cents. And that's true, right? You guys need to understand the US dollar has in fact been going down, okay, losing its purchasing power, right? And this is why you guys need to invest into assets, okay? A lot of people out there, the rich, the wealthy, they are buying assets. They are making their money work for them, okay? To keep up with inflation, to beat inflation, right? People are buying, stocks, companies, bonds, right? Silver, gold, and the biggest one is real estate, as we all know. But I truly do believe Bitcoin is the best asset out there. Okay, if you guys ask me the question, which asset class should I invest in for long term, right? For the best, gains and whatnot. Personally, I think it's gonna be Bitcoin, right? I truly do believe Bitcoin is a much, much better asset to invest in than something like real estate, right? I've made plenty of videos talking about, why Bitcoin is a better asset than real estate. So if you guys haven't seen those videos, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, you guys need to understand, your purchasing power, right, is going lower if you hold fiat, of course, right? This is why you always got to invest into assets, guys, to beat inflation. We know Bitcoin is way ahead of inflation. It's beating inflation like crazy. Okay, you guys would realize, like, when you actually own Bitcoin, everything around you becomes much, much cheaper, right? So this is a great example, right? Price of a home versus Bitcoin and US dollars. Okay, I've showed you guys this many, many times. You guys can clearly see throughout the years, it's getting, you literally just need less and less and less Bitcoins to buy a nice home. Okay, right now, okay, you can buy a nice home with less than 5 Bitcoins, if you really think about it, right? Less than 5 Bitcoins. Okay, in 2024, it was over 6 Bitcoins, 6.6 Bitcoins, right? But you guys need to understand, I really do believe in the next 8, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, you can buy a home with less than 1 Bitcoin. I actually do believe in the future, you can buy a home with just 0.1 Bitcoin, just 10% of a Bitcoin. Yes, you heard that right, guys. Just 0.1 Bitcoin. And I've been telling you guys many times, owning 0.1 Bitcoin is actually a big deal, right? It really, really is. I feel like a fair few people think it's not a big deal, but personally, I think it is a very, very big deal owning 0.1 Bitcoin. Okay, you guys need to understand, Bitcoin is going to be worth not just $1 million, but tens and millions of dollars. Yes, Bitcoin will be reaching $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, $12 million, $15 million, $20 million per coin one day. Long term, of course, right? Whether it's going to be in the next 2 decades or 3 decades, it doesn't matter, right? Bitcoin is going to be reaching those price targets. Okay, so if you really think about it, with just 0.1 Bitcoin, you can buy a home. Okay, you really, really can, guys. A nice house as well, right? A nice home, okay, down in the future. So if you guys are watching this right now, not financial advice, but if I were you guys, I would accumulate as much Satoshis as I possibly can, even if it's just 1% of it, right? 0.01, okay? 0.1, 10%, right, of a Bitcoin. 0.2, 0.5, half of a Bitcoin, right? Just keep stacking stats, and then you will eventually, accumulate a full Bitcoin, right? This is the best time to accumulate, guys, because, Bitcoin is so easy right now to, accumulate Satoshis. Trust me, it's going to be much, much harder down in the future. Let's just say Bitcoin is over $1 million, and that's going to happen very soon. I truly do believe, like, less than 10 years from now, we're going to see Bitcoin, less than 10 years from now, we're going to see Bitcoin at, over $1 million. And imagine trying to accumulate Satoshis when the Bitcoin price is over $1 million. Obviously, it's going to be so much more harder versus where we are right now. Bitcoin is just above $100,000, right? So for the average person to accumulate Satoshis, right now is the best time to do that. because you guys understand the Bitcoin price is just going to keep rising. Okay, it's going to reach 200K, 300K, 500K, 600K, 800K to $1 million and beyond. And trust me, it's going to be much, much harder. It's going to continue to rise, and it's going to be much, much harder for the average person to accumulate Satoshis, to stack stats. Trust me, this is the best time to do it, guys. Okay, time is ticking. I understand that. But you know the saying, right? You know the saying, it is never too late to buy Bitcoin. It really, really isn't. And personally, I've said this before, right? And I'll say it again. When I do see, Bitcoin reaching 500K, 800K to $1 million, I'm still going to buy. I'm still going to buy Bitcoin. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin at the top forever, guys, for a lifetime, right? That's what you guys need to understand, okay? So that being said, okay, I'm going to stop talking here. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys to it. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys for watching this entire video. If you guys did watch this entire video, I truly do appreciate that. But yeah, I will keep you guys up to date on what's going to be happening with Bitcoin. Holding on 117 right now, but I will keep you guys up to date. I appreciate all you guys. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. That is always much, much appreciated. And yeah, I will catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.